Hello, my beautiful queens. Just letting everyone know that I am live. I'm gonna get my live going on YouTube. I'm already on YouTube, on TikTok. And I'm gonna pull it up so that I can see your guys' comments. Okay. I hope that everyone has had a great start to December. I honestly cannot believe that we are in the last home stretch of 2025. Like how did this happen? Okay, let me see if I can pull this up. That is not what I meant to do. Okay. We are going to just hop right in as people hop in. Okay, so hello, TikTok world, YouTube world. I wanted to hop on live and just recap the incredible weekend that we just had in New York City. Like, there's so many things that I want to lock in. There's so many things that I want to talk about like why getting in the right rooms is so important. I want to talk about why not every team, not every high ticket organization is created equal. And I want to talk about why getting to live events, like live community events, get togethers, masterminds, retreats, whatever you want to call them, like why going to those is so fucking important for your growth in your business. So I hope that everyone has had an incredible start to December. Like, I can't believe we're already like over a week into December. It's absolutely fucking crazy. Like, 2025 is almost over. I almost don't even know where the year went. This year was one of those years where it was the most trying year of my career, of my life, actually, almost like one of the most trying years of my entire life. There was a lot of shedding, there was a lot of releasing, there was a lot of lessons, there was a lot of wisdom and growth that I had to go through in my business after losing my accounts and rebuilding from scratch and still running a massive organization and having the emotional intelligence to do so. And so there's been a lot to hold over this last year, and I'm so grateful that we got to end this year of 2025 on such an incredible high. So if you are here, drop me some comments, drop me some hearts, let me know that you're here hanging out, let me know who's here hanging out, and share this video to your teams, okay? Especially if you're in Babs, like have your team watch this video because like I said, we're going to get into like why this is so important and why getting to these events is so important. So I have always had like the dream of doing New York and Christmas, right? Like if you live in the state, I think people worldwide actually have this dream because you see like New York is just the aesthetic of Christmas, right? You have the Rockettes, you have the Rockefeller ice skating, you have everything is done up like Christmas. Everyone goes all out. It is extremely busy. They have Bryant Park. Like there's so much to do like in this New York winter wonderland dream. And as like our first real retreat for Babs Legacy, which is my organization, I wanted to do this for the team. Like because we were able to work it out to do something towards the last part of the year, the last quarter of the year, it was like, let's do New York Christmas. And we were all in on this idea. And so me and my incredible team, I'm really not a great planner for events. It's actually extremely overwhelming to me. So my incredible team really took the reins and did all of the like scheduling and the planning and getting everything booked that we needed to get booked. And it ended up being the most incredible fucking thing ever that we've experienced. And so we get to New York, right? We drive in. I flew in from Texas and then we drove up from Connecticut to get to New York. And we get to this beautiful hotel. We stayed at Hotel Belclair, gorgeous hotel. And we walk in, we go to get checked in. And it's so funny because I'm someone where like most all of my life I've stayed in budget hotels, right? Like I remember like driving to Disneyland with my family and staying like Motel 6s, right? Like we always stayed budget hotels. It wasn't really anything super luxury. And over the past couple years of being in my high ticket business full time, like I have, experienced some really nice fucking hotels. Like back in May when I went to Paris, I stayed at the Four Seasons. That was absolutely insane. And so I've had experiences like that, but it's still so new to me and my DNA to like stay in these really nice hotels. So we get there, we check in, and we're starting to check in, and the guy looks up from his computer, and I made a reel about this because it was so funny, but he looks up from his computer and he goes, "Oh, I have the guests of the presidential suite here." And I'm like, "Yes, you do. Yes, you actually do. I've never stayed in a presidential suite ever. Like, never once. A presidential suite? What? I'd never done that before in my life, especially in New York fucking City. Like, what?" So we get up there. The room is absolutely beautiful. We start setting up. We have, these beautiful Christmas present gift boxes for all of the women that were there. These gift boxes had like, what do? We did like Sol de Janeiro gift set. We did a Rhode skincare gift set. We did pajamas with the Babs logo and their names on the back. We did a Babs ornament. We did cozy socks for the pajamas. What else was in there? A couple other things, and they were absolutely so fun to sit there and open these gifts with everyone, like in the room that we decorated all Christmas-like. It literally felt like Christmas morning. The only thing that we were missing was a tree, and I low-key at one point was like, we should see if we could bring a tree up, but it would have been so much work to get like a fake tree in there and get it all decorated and everything. But I wish we would have had a tree. It was the only thing missing. And the first night was just connecting with everyone, because when we build these online businesses, these high ticket businesses where we work with people all over the country, we work with people all over the world, like you build these like insane relationships with other people online that you've never met before, that you've never met, right? You work with them every day. On the back end, you're working with them and chatting with them every day. You're on the phone with them every day. You're on video with them every day. You're in Zoom with them every day. You're closing sales with them every day. You're celebrating wins. You're celebrating rank ups. You're celebrating a fuck ton of money being made. And it's like, these people, but you've never met them. And so like being in the living room and sitting down and really just connecting with each other on a completely different level is so fucking powerful for like building community and building lasting relationships and long-term relationships for where we're going. And one of the most important things about building a thriving community is building this like sense of togetherness, right? The sense of, I'm not better than you, you're not better than me. It doesn't matter if I've made a couple million and you haven't made any money, or I've made some money or you've made a little bit of money, or like vice versa. Like it doesn't matter. It's like, it humanizes the whole experience. And so this is one of the things that I love about like in-person events and in-person retreats is, sometimes when we see people only on Zoom and we know them as like our mentors or our coaches, and then we get to like hang out with them in in real life, like in person. One of the biggest like breakthroughs I had was it just fucking normalizes people. Like we're all just people. Right? We all have quirks. We all have things. We all have ways that we think, anxieties. We all have, a lot of us who you guys see like online doing like all the coaching and mentoring, like we're actually extremely introverted in real life. Like we have anxiety. I have social anxiety at least. Like there's so much that it just brings us back down to the human level of what we're doing. And I think that part is so important because yes, we want to have respect for people who have gone before us and, boundaries and those kinds of things, but also realizing that like when you can hang out with me in the living room in our PJs with like a Coke Zero in hand and just realize that like I'm a normal fucking person and like we're talking about our kids, we're talking about our spouses, like the things that we've gone through, the struggles that we're going through. There was multiple conversations that we had over the weekend, especially at the last dinner where we were talking about very vulnerable things. And it's like when we do that, we get to connect on such a deeper level. And that to me is such an important piece of the puzzle. And so we did that all night one. And then day one, like officially day one was like back to back to back to back to back. We crammed in so much in 72 hours. Well, it was 24, really like 48 hours because again, the first day was really chill, but 48 hours, 72 hours, like we crammed in as much as you could do New York Christmas. Like we woke up, we were up early, we got some coffee, we got ready, and we took off to, where did we go first on the first day? I think it was ice skating at Rockefeller was the first thing that we did. We met up with our photographer and we went to Rockefeller. Like, what? By the way, like, I don't know how to ice skate. I ice skated one time in my life when I was like, I don't know, 14 or 15 years old. And so I think everyone there was like petrified. Like, no one there was a good ice skater except for Kat. Kat knew how to ice skate. None of us did. So we were like, oh my God, we have the photographer here. We're supposed to get all these cute pictures and we're going to be falling on our ass in Rockefeller Center where everyone is watching us because we've never done this before, right? But it ended up being literally the coolest experience ever. We have so many videos from ice skating there. It was so extremely next level and no one fell on their ass. Like, that was a huge fucking win. No one fell on their ass, which was amazing. And we got the cutest fucking pictures. Then after that, we went to Bryant Park, which is like a Christmas village there in New York City. It was so busy, you guys. Christmas time in New York is so busy anyway. Like, Bryant Park was insane. Like, we were like shuffling around in line for food for like, I don't know, an hour trying to get everything that we wanted to try. Got some of the best food, got some of the best hot chocolate, got the cutest pictures. And then it was like rush back to start to get ready for the Rockettes. And we went to the Rockettes, and this was like, I had another major experience that I want to lock in with you guys. We went to the Rockettes at Radio City Music Hall. I've never seen the Rockettes before. And we're all dressed to the nines, like the cutest Christmas fits ever. Okay. And so we get in our Ubers, we go to Radio City Music Hall, we get in there, and it was such an incredible show. Like, for one, when you walk in there, they had this insane chandelier in the form of like a Christmas tree that was crystals, but it was massive. It was like the most massive thing I've ever seen. And so is beautiful. I was already like, what is my life? Like, what is my life? How am I here with like the coolest fucking people? Like, what is really happening? Like, how are we here? So we sit down and we're watching the show, and it was amazing, a fucking course. And this whole weekend when we were in New York, I kept saying like, I am an extremely powerful manifester. Like, over the last few days, I had manifested some really cool fucking things and some things where I was like, this is actually kind of weird, the energy that I'm in right now. Plus, it was a super full moon, so that maybe has something to do with it. But I don't know. I was like, I'm on some next level power right now. And so all weekend, I was like, I'm going to manifest that it snows. I don't know how, because it wasn't really supposed to snow in the forecast. It was cold as fuck, by the way. This day one was so fucking cold. It was like 14 degrees. Okay, I want to see if I can see the live chat. If you guys are chatting, let me know, because I want to see what you guys are saying. I don't know why it's not working for me. But anyway, it was so cold. It was like 20 degrees. We were literally like, when we were leaving Bryant Park, we were like in pain, cold, but we were still having a great time. Anyway, so we're in this Rockhead show, and I was thinking like all weekend, I was like, I'm going to manifest that it snows. I don't know how, I don't know when. Like, I want it to snow. You know, it's just like, that'll be like the cherry on top. Like, at New York and Christmas. I want it to snow. And so we were at Bryant Park, and there was like a couple snowflakes, right? Like, not big snowflakes, so like you wouldn't have been able to catch it on video or picture, which is why I was so frustrated. But there was a couple snowflakes, and people were like, it's snowing, Jessica, it's snowing. And I was like, oh my God, I think it's snowing. But then we're in this Rockette show, and towards the end, like one of the last things that they do, they make it snow in the auditorium, for lack of a better word. I don't know if it's called an auditorium, but they make it snow. I didn't know that was going to be part of the show. I had no idea. I didn't think that it would. The only other place where I've been where they make it fake snow like that is Disneyland in Christmas after the fireworks. And I cried there. And at the Rockettes, when it starts, this beautiful show is happening. It just starts fucking snowing. And it was so beautiful. And it was gorgeous. And I just started like tears. Because I was so fucking overwhelmed with gratitude. Not like, oh, I'm a powerful manifester and I made it snow when it wasn't supposed to snow or anything like that. But it was like, yes, that. Like, it fucking snowed. Even if it wasn't real snow, it snowed. And so it just got me in my feels. Because it was like, how is this my life? That's what I want to know first. Because 11 years ago, I was addicted to heroin, living in my car, and everyone that knew me thought I was going to die. Like, that was what was written in the stars for me, was Jessica's going to die from an overdose. My parents are going to find me from a Jane Doe obituary in a newspaper. Like, that was the reality that my friends and family were living at the time, and I was living at the time. So 11 years ago, that was my life. And then today, I was sitting in Radio City Music Hall with 8 other women on an all expenses paid trip that me and Tara paid for our girls, with these women that were once upon a time strangers to me. I didn't know them. I didn't know any of them. I was supposed to die. And now I'm living this fucking beautiful life that, again, this is why it's like, you can have goals that you want to manifest. You could have things that you want to have manifest and that you want to see and, see come true. But it's like, when you go all in on your life and you decide that, like, I'm just going to go 100% all in on me and, like, whatever happens, this is what I try to get across to people is, like, you will actually manifest and create experiences that you didn't even have, like, in the back of your mind, right? Like, when I got clean, I didn't have this idea. When I started my business 4 years ago and I went all in on high ticket, I wasn't thinking like, oh yeah, like one day I'm going to take my team on an all expense paid trip to New York and we're going to see the Rockettes and it's going to be beautiful. Like, that was never on my, like, bucket list of things that I was going to do. It was like, make $3,000 per month, get home with my kids, and, like, just live my life at least free. Like, that was my goals, right? And then again, it's like, then you get into it and you start just doing what you're like intuitively led to do, and you just start taking massive action, and then opportunities present themselves, doors open, other doors open, more doors open, like, so many things happen that you can't even see yet. And that's what gets me so excited about my life and where we're headed is, like, I don't even know how good it's going to get, because I couldn't imagine the things that have happened in my life over the last 4 years, over the last 11 years. It doesn't matter. Like, I had no idea. I never would have, like, dreamed these things to be true for me. And so sitting at, oh my God, I can finally see your guys' comments. Hi, Christine. Hi, Grayson. You're amazing. The trip looked like something I didn't even know I could dream up. No, seriously. Oh my God, I love you so much. Okay, so that was like the thing. That's what I was locking in when I was at the Rockette show that night. I was just so overwhelmed with gratitude, and everyone was like having fun. No one else was like emotional, I don't think. So I was like trying to like cover it up. I was like, oh, I'm not crying, it's not me. Because I always be crying on these trips. And we leave that, we go back home, go back to the hotel, get ready for dinner, and then we do dinner at Tao, and that was fucking amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Tao or heard of Tao. It's an Asian restaurant, and we just did like a prefix menu for everyone, and they brought out so much food. It was insane. But they had the best sushi I've almost ever had in my entire life there. The best food, the best ambiance, the best vibe, the best just... We had so much fun together. It was actually insane. But we didn't leave that restaurant until like 11:30 at night. We didn't get back to our hotel until 12. I wasn't in bed until like 1 o'clock. Like, that is late for me. Okay. And we got up at 7 the next day to do another whole day. So day 2 was back to back to back to back yet again. What did we do day 2? Day 2 was, we got ready and we had breakfast at this super cute, like, I think it was like a French spot, because it gave me super like French vibes. But they had the beautiful Christmas tree. It was all decorated to the nines, like absolutely gorgeous. We did that, and then we got back and we treated the girls to like a massive photo shoot. So we had a photo shoot day 1 with Nicole. We did the Rockefeller and Bryant Park and stuff with her. And then day 2, we had another photographer and videographer come in, and he did like, girl, you guys, we did full glam for all the girls. Full glam. I kid you not, I don't know if you guys have ever gotten glam done, but this is like my first full year of like really getting glam. Every time I go on vacation, I always do now. But glam is like full makeup, full hair, right? And we're like, well, we're going to do full photo shoot. So let's have the girls get all glam done. And most of the girls like hadn't really done this before, like maybe once or twice for their wedding or something like that. And so we're in this hotel. We have the massive, we have the living room. That's pretty good. And the dining room. That's pretty good. We have a king bedroom, me and Tara's king bedroom, and then another bedroom that had 2 fulls and a bathroom. So it was like 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, something like that. It's pretty big. But when I tell you, it was time for glam to show up. All of the girls are like getting ready and all of these people just start coming through the door. Okay, so I'm getting my makeup done finally. And we had 2 people per girl. There's 9 of us. Okay, so we wanted to do makeup and hair at the exact same time so that we can get people in and out and we can get to the photo shoot. So when I tell you, I am sitting in my room getting my glam done and I can see the front door for the hotel and it's just like makeup artist after makeup artist after hairstylist after hairstylist. It's just these people just like keep coming in. And it was like, I don't know, 20 minutes later and they were still coming in. It reminded me, I was laughing so hard with my makeup artist, Esteban. He was absolutely amazing. But I was like, it's like a clown car where like they just don't stop coming in. So we had like, I don't know, what is 9 times 2, like 18 artists in there. It was madness. It was madness in the best way possible though. Like it all went smoothly. It was all great. And the girls looked fucking incredible, but it was just the funniest thing to have that hotel room packed out with so many artists. Like, I don't know, but it felt so good to treat the girls to full glam, full hair, makeup, and then a massive photo shoot where we did like photos in the Babs PJs. Then we did a holiday like glam gala outfit, which was super fucking cute. And then after that, we did, you guys, we felt like fucking royalty. I'm not even kidding you because we did everything upstairs. And then in our glam outfits, like our holiday fancy glam out, we were all like in sequins and red. It was fucking so next level. But we go downstairs to go outside and we're doing this photo shoot. We have this guy with all of his lights set up and we have all of us girls like all done to the nines and people walking past us. We have people asking like, are you guys shooting for like a movie or what's going on here? And then we'd have people just being like, telling us how great we looked, how good we looked. We were up and down the sidewalk and then there was a major street right there. So we were like running back and forth on the crosswalks, getting shots and getting videos. Like it was so fucking next level. It was so fun. And then we go inside. A couple of girls went to go relax, but a couple of the girls were like, use the photographer while we have him here because that's what it was for them to get all of the shots that they needed, like professional shoot. And they were down in the bar, like lounge area. When I tell you, because a lot of the girls were wearing like fur coats and stuff, it looked like Mob Wives times 10. Like just the bougiest Mob Wives ever. Like literally everyone was staring. Everyone was just like, oh my God, you guys look so good. Like you guys look great. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you here for? Like, what is it? Like we had so much fun. And then we go upstairs. We rush to get ready again. At this point, we're on outfit, I think 1, 2, 3, 4 of the day. And this is where then we get into like our pink fits. So I don't know if you guys saw the photos or any of the videos yet from like the pink outfits, but the pink fits were so next level. But here's where it kind of went a little bit crazy. Okay. So we're getting ready. We're like, how long does it take to get to our next thing? Because this next thing that we were going to was kind of like a little surprise for the girls. We didn't tell them what it was. And we just said like, dress in pink, like light pink, pretty pink, like just dress pink to the nines. And we were like mapping it, how long it took to get there. And it was like by car, 20 minutes. So we're like, okay, well, let's give ourselves 35 minutes to get there. We should be good. We leave 35 minutes early. And I kid you not, I don't know what happened to the traffic in New York. I don't know what happened, but it went fucking bananas, like absolutely insane. And so we're driving and we're like, we're not moving. Literally sitting still. And we're like inching, sitting still, barely inching if we're lucky. We're all in high heels, by the way. Like some of the girls had some like insane fucking high heels. And we're like watching the time. We're like, oh, we're going to get there with like 5 minutes to spare. Oh, 2 minutes to spare. Oh, we're going to be 5 minutes late. Oh, we're 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late. Oh, now we're 20 minutes late. It's game over. Like they're not going to hold the thing for us. Like we're not going to be able to do it. And I was manifesting so hard in the back of this Uber. I was like, please, God, like, just let us get there. Just let us get there. I don't know how it needs to happen, but just let us get there. Please do not let us miss this. So I'm like trying to just like, Husaba, just like fucking breathe. Like it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And even if it doesn't work out and we miss the thing, like we'll do something else. It'll be great. I was like, no matter what, it'll be great. And we're getting closer, and we're like, okay, we're literally 1 mile away and it's saying we're still not going to be there for over 35 minutes. Like, do we get out and hoof it? And we're like, but everyone's in high heels. Like Leanne's high heels alone were like insane. Like and I don't even know how she just walks a foot in them. We're like, we can't hoof it. Like, we can't hoof it a mile. And so we're trying to like scoot. And we finally were like 0.4 miles. We're like, we got to go. And we literally, I kid you not, 2 Ubers full, women just in pink. We stood out in the crowd. It was dark outside. We're just running through New York trying to get to our next thing. It was absolutely insane. I felt like Home Alone. That's what I felt like. I was just running through the streets of New York. But here's the thing. We showed up 15:30, 50, 20 minutes late from when it said like, you can't come past this time because we are going to depart. We showed up 40 minutes late and we made it. They let us in. They let us on. They held the bus for us. It was this like tea time tour bus thing, all done in pink flowers. Everything is super pink tea time girl stuff with like, food like things and stuff. Like the cutest setting. I have no idea how they let us on that bus. I have no idea. But I just kept saying, we're lucky, lucky girls. Everything always works out for us. I don't know how, but it does. And we got to go on this bus and it was absolutely amazing. We had the cutest time, the funnest time. And then we got off the bus. We had to hurry and rush to dinner that night. We were supposed to go change outfits, but considering how long it was taking to just get like 0.5 miles, like we couldn't get to our next outfit change. And so we're like, okay, well, how do we make it to our dinner reservation? Because now we don't know how we're going to get there. And Kat, bless her heart, was like, well, we like need to take the subway. And I'm like, I don't want to take the subway. What are you talking about? I was like, I don't like the subway. I don't know if anyone has like rode the subway in New York, but I was like, I don't want to ride the subway because I rode it one time, like a couple years ago. And I was like, I don't want to do it. And everyone was like, okay, well, this will be probably like the fastest way. So we go to take the subway. It was a nightmare, but we had so much fun together and it was just fucking incredible. And we made it to our dinner, which we went to Baccarat, the Crystal Hotel. And it was absolutely amazing. It was some of the best food. But the point I'm trying to make with all of this is at that dinner, I sat with, with everyone, but I had some really good conversations with, some of the girls who I see like on a daily basis inside of the chats and inside of the team calls and the Zooms and the things like that. But we got to like really sit down and have like conversations together about like vulnerable things, like how they were raised, the stuff that they had gone through, the stuff that I had gone through, like the trauma, the pain, the tribulations, and just everything in our lives that had led us to this exact moment together. And that is like one of the craziest things for me is like how like, again, the fear that people have is like, well, no one's going to join me in business. I don't know anyone who's going to join me in business, but it's like, you don't have to know who's going to join you in business. You don't have to know. I didn't know anyone who was going to join me in business either. I knew that my friends weren't going to buy for me. I knew that my family wasn't going to buy for me. And I didn't have like a network. I was never an entrepreneur before. So I didn't have a network of people. I didn't have this like massive like connection that I could create, with just other people and people I could reach out to. I lived in a really small town, a really small community. No one was going to buy for me. But had I let that fear that like, I don't know who's going to buy for me, no one's probably going to buy for me, had I let that been like the undercurrent theme of how I made my decisions, I never would have gotten started. And then I never would have built this like incredible fucking community that I have today. I wouldn't have built this incredible income that I have today. I wouldn't have helped other people build the incredible incomes that they have today based on like my own fear. And so one of the things I always, talk about and I like to bring up to people is there's people attached to your destiny right now that you don't know. Like there are people attached to you and attached to your destiny that you're meant to help, that you're meant to impact. Because if you have desires placed on your heart, like they were placed there for a reason. So if you have these ideas and these things that you want to do, if you have these beliefs and these ideas and you're like, okay, well, I mean, it would be nice to build a team. It would be nice to build an organization. It would be nice to recruit. It would be nice to build a thriving business. It would be nice to make this kind of money. It would be nice to help other people make this kind of money, but I don't know who. You'll never get where you want to be based on that. But those thoughts, those feelings, those ideas that you have, they were placed on your heart so that you could live them out here on the 3D. They were placed there for a reason. They would not be placed on your heart if you were not meant to live them out here. So it's like, that's why I don't care whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to build wells in Africa and, help people there, if you want to build tiny homes in rural areas and help the homeless, if you want to make a fuck ton of money and buy a Lambo and travel the world first class, like if you want to buy your own private jet, like I don't care what it is. It could be anything specific to you. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be what I want to do. It doesn't have to be what Joe Bob wants to do. It doesn't have to be what your parents want you to do. It has to be what feels right to you and on your heart. That's what you should be doing. And so that's what we need to really focus in on is like, why or what is your mission here? What are you here to do? Right? So all of everything that I was just talking about to say is like, all of this was created because it was what I was meant to do here. I didn't know that though. Right? Like I didn't know that was what I was here to do. But it makes sense of why I was so uncomfortable in corporate, why I was so uncomfortable in social work, because I wasn't living out what I was meant to do. Like I wasn't living out my purpose. I wasn't living out, what felt right for me and in alignment to me. And again, I didn't even know what that meant. But you're not supposed to see the bigger picture first. Everyone thinks, well, I'm just, like I need to see how it's going to work out. Like I need a crystal ball so I know that like the decision I make leads me to where I'm supposed to go. And then I need to know where I'm supposed to go and what that even is. And it's like, but that's not how it works. No one has a crystal ball to like know how this all works out. But what you're supposed to do is learn to trust your intuition to start making decisions to get you closer to where you want to be, to get you into alignment. But if you stay in things that don't feel good to you, that don't feel right for you, you're out of alignment. Then you can't create all these like magical experiences. These experiences happen for me and these doors open and right. So it's so easy, for example, to look at me and be like, yeah, Jess, like it's easy for you because like you have all this stuff, you have money, you have the platform, you have training, coaching, you have a husband that supports you. And it's like, all of those things that you see as like, well, it's easier for me because I have X, Y, and Z. The only reason I have X, Y, and Z is because of a yes that I made. It's because of a no that I made. It's because of a decision that I made that then led me to here, right? When I was confronted with like a high ticket business, it was scary. It was scary to want to say yes to that. I didn't know anyone who would buy. I didn't have the money to get started. It didn't make sense for me to get started. I had no experience. I had no network. I had no training. I had nothing. But my intuition was like, there's something here. I don't know what it is though, but like there's something here. And I said yes, despite my fucking fear. Because I said yes, it introduced me into a community where other women were making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 per month, which then led me to finding other mentors, which then led me to developing myself, which then led me to becoming a good marketer and becoming a good salesperson and led me to trainings and coaching that I needed, which then led me to closing my first clients, building my first team, which then led me to hiring another mentor, right? Like my decisions over like with trusting my intuition is what has led me here. So again, it's not like you see the vision, you like have it first and then you get better at making decisions. It's like you make decisions while managing the fear, the unknown, and then the rest comes. So it's not, oh, I'll go find a bunch of people who will buy from me and then I'll get into the business and I'll sell to those people. It's you get into the business, you get good at what you need to get good at, and then the people will come. Right? It's just like faith. Faith is believing before seeing. So you can't say that you have true faith if you need to see evidence first. So if you need to see evidence of the thing before you have faith in it, it'll never work. You have to have faith in the thing first and then the evidence will show up. Because why would God, Mother Nature, the universe give you everything when you don't truly believe? It's going to go to the people who do. So it's having faith when it looks like it's not working out. It's having faith when you don't understand how it's going to work out. It's having faith when you don't have the crystal ball. But because you're willing to move forward with faith and make decisions to get you closer to your goal, you will be highly rewarded for that. Because the only other option is to stay stuck in jobs that you hate, situations that you don't feel good in, stay completely misaligned your entire life. Like, that's the other option? To then grow old and be like 80 years old and look back on your life and be like, damn, I wish I would have done something a little different. Damn, I wish I would have, like, I don't know, taken that opportunity. Right? Like, how many people are, praying for an opportunity, praying for their situations to change, praying for a way out of their situation, and then opportunities present themselves to you and you close the door. That's a scam. Too good to be true. Doesn't make sense. Nah, not for me. I don't know anyone who would buy. Everyone who is living the life that you want to live, the reason they are is because they were willing to say yes through the fear. They were willing to take the risk. They were willing to do things that didn't make sense. They were willing to, go forth when their family made fun of them, when their friends made fun of them. I have people in my life who made fun of me from when I got started and who told me that I would fail and who would make snide comments about what I was doing. But you know what? While they're stuck in a job that they absolutely hate at a capped income, I've made $2 million over the last couple of years. Who's looking silly now? Right? Everyone who has a life that you want to experience probably was willing to do more things that you're not willing to do. They're willing to fail more often. They're willing to fall on their face. They're willing to look cringe. They're willing for, people to say things. They have the emotional intelligence to say, you know what, like, my dreams are worth it. I would rather live my life saying, like, at least I went for everything that I wanted and I went for it regardless, rather than looking back on my life when I'm 80 or 90, if I make it to then, praise, hopefully. But I'd rather, like, be failing forward a ton, trying, and look back on my life and be like, at least I went for it. We got one fucking life. And I think the, biggest, how do I say this? Like, one of the worst things that humans do is thinking that they have more time. Our time is limited here, and our time goes by so fast. And everyone's like, well, when the time is right, when I have more time, when the time is better. And it's like, people are out here making a fuck ton of money who are less qualified than you simply because they're just going for it, regardless of the time, regardless of the situation, regardless of whatever. Like, don't be the one who holds back from living the life that you want to live simply because you're afraid of what people are going to think, or you're afraid of failure, or you're afraid of, like, what if it doesn't work out? Because I promise you, if you make decisions in full faith, in full alignment with your intuition of, like, I don't know how and I don't know when, but I'm going to trust that this is the right thing for me. Just going forth will open more opportunities, will open more doors. Like, the thing I hear most from people who get started with me in high ticket always say, like, I wish I would have gotten started sooner, because they get into the community, they get into the training, and they get surrounded by all of these people who think like they want to think. And the whole, like, worldview shifts. Like, a fucking, like, literally shifts you on your axis, because you're currently living a life surrounded by people who don't believe in the dreams, right? Like, if you were to go out and say to one of your, like, normal people at your 9-to-5, like, yeah, I'd love to make $1 million in the next year, when you make, $55,000 a year right now, people are gonna be like, you're fucking crazy. We'd all love to be rich, right? We'd all love to make $1 million. We'd all love to, like, buy the yacht. We'd all love to do that, but, like, get a real dream, Jessica, right? So when you're surrounded by those people who think like that, it's hard to envision a life of anything different. So then when you decide, like, you know what, I'm going to be the one who does it. I'm going to be the one who does something different. And then you get into a community like mine where we talk about making, $20,000 for breakfast, because we make that kind of money here. And then you see us on luxury retreats. You see us flying first class all the time. You see other people in the community quitting their jobs and, having breakthroughs because they get to be with their spouse more. They get to be with their kids. They don't have to miss a field trip. Like, you start to see these things and how people think different and act different and believe different. Then it's like your entire worldview shifts. Your entire worldview changes. And so it's like, that's why I stay in rooms with people who are further ahead than me, because they think differently than me. And I want to think different. because if I think different, I'm going to have different. And so if I want to keep scaling my income, I want to keep doing things differently. Like I need to see things differently. I need to think differently. So I keep myself in rooms with people who are further ahead than me. But if your room that you have right now is full of people who are on the same level field as you, the same playing field as you, they don't want more. They don't dream for more. They dream for winning the lottery because they don't want to do the work that it takes to get somewhere. That's what you will create. So if you want to be the one that shifts your entire timeline and shifts your entire generational lineage, like you have to get into different rooms. And so that is one of the favorite things that I love about, retreats and masterminds and get-togethers. And this is why I loved, Palm Beach a couple weekends ago is, my mentor that I was seeing there, she makes $1 to $2 million a month. A month. She didn't start there. She started at zero, just like everyone else. She makes $1 to $2 million per month. That is insane. But I want to tap into that. So I get myself in those rooms, right? And then everything shifts. And then I get to network with other people. And those other people that I network bring forth like opportunities that I didn't know even existed. This is why networking is so important. The reason I went to Paris a couple months ago was because of networking I did inside of a mastermind that I took the year before. And then I went to this luxury retreat mastermind in Paris because of the person I met in a mastermind. So it's like, this is how our life changes. And this is why I could never envision my life and what it is and like what I've done, because it's all happened from these like micro decisions that I've made over time. And that is where my life is headed, is like, I don't even know where it's headed because it's these micro decisions I make over time in full faith, in full trust, and moving with integrity, moving with, grace and dignity, and getting to where I want to be. And then this or something better. I'm always open to this or something better, because I don't know what's going to create or what I'm going to create or what idea I'm going to have that drops in or an opportunity that's going to be presented or whatever. And so it's like, this is just like the magic in all of it. The magic in surrounding yourself with people who are further ahead than you, surrounding yourself with people who think differently like you or like you want to. And then all of that starts to shift over time. So if you haven't gone to an in-person like retreat or mastermind, it's like, get your booty to one. Like that is where lives change. When I started my journey, I was in network marketing for a couple years, but when I quit my job 4 years ago and like really started my journey all in on entrepreneurship, I quit my job and it was like 2 weeks later, I went on an in-person mastermind retreat to Scottsdale, Arizona with my mentor at the time and a bunch of other women. That retreat changed my life. Quitting my job, having this like insane world shift view, and then going on a retreat 2 weeks later, like locked all this in. Really being surrounded by other women who were doing what I wanted to do, being surrounded by other women who were thinking like I wanted to think, being surrounded by my mentor who was 10 steps ahead of me. Like that, I think really helped lock in like where I was headed. And then over the years, like I always get my butt to like in-person conventions, in-person little masterminds, in-person retreats, because again, I think that like building this community aspect of people in real life where you can have these deeper conversations, you can really bond and connect with one another is life-changing. And so if you haven't gotten to an in-person one, I highly, highly encourage that 2026, you make it your year to go to one, whether it's a mastermind, a retreat, a convention, just an in-person quick event, a one-day event, a gala, like I don't care what it is, but go to one, get uncomfortable, right? I'm an introvert. So for me, it's hard for me to go to these things because I'm like, when you people in a lot, it's a lot, right? It's a lot of energy. I feel everyone's energies. There's a lot of excitement. It's draining. Like and I'm very introverted, meaning like I'm also not one to just like walk up and introduce myself. And then there's like expectations and like, it's just weird, right? It's still uncomfortable for me, but I force myself to do it because being uncomfortable is growth, right? And again, I meet the coolest people. And so don't think just because I am who I am and I show up like I do on social media that like it's just easy for me to do this. It's like, it's not. It's actually extremely exhausting. You guys, I came home from New York and I slept for 12 hours. I don't even know how. I fell asleep at like 5:30 p.m. right when I got home from the airport. I was just like snuggling with my boys and I passed out, makeup on and everything. I haven't slept with my makeup on in like years and years and years. So I was exhausted from the weekend. But it will change your life and it will change other people's lives. And like, this is where a lot of the work is. I just wanted to see what Tatiana said. That's how I feel now, trying to figure out an alignment while trusting the path, but then also afraid to make the wrong decisions. I know that's like the hard part, is like trusting your intuition and getting better at trusting your intuition. I suck at trusting my intuition. I used to, and I still sometimes like get into my head about my intuition, but I do what I feel called to do. And I feel like when I see like an opportunity to take action, I just take action. I think that's important. Funny, I made a post on Facebook about people like that yesterday. But I think that these in-person things are so important, and, you know, I can't wait to hear what you guys do in 2026. I'll come live. I'm going to come live every week, but, you know, towards the end of the month, I'll definitely come live. We'll do like a full year recap and like my biggest lessons of 2025, because there was a lot of lessons of 2025, and, you know, where I plan to go in my business for 2026, because I plan to go a lot of places and do a lot of things, not just for Bab Society, but just me and my brand as a whole, and, you know, me as an entrepreneur, me as a leader, and where I plan to go is real big. So I'm so excited, you know, for where we all are going and the energy of 2026, because I think that it is a good shift that we all need. So I love you guys so much, and drop your comments, drop your takeaways, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.